My name is Alex Mangone. I'm the Latin teacher at the LNN STEM Academy, and welcome to the last module of the KCS at Home Summer Edition Latin 1 module guide. Today, we'll be talking about Latin pronouns, specifically the pronouns hic, ille, and qui. Let's get started. So, when we want to talk about pronouns, we need to figure out what pronouns are doing in English before we can discuss them in Latin. So we need to answer the question, well, what is a pronoun? Remember that pronouns are words that take the place of a noun in a sentence. And the most violated rule about pronouns is that they must have been referring to a stated noun, right? So you can't just use a pronoun without first stating what it's referring back to. So below I have an example. The teacher gives a quiz on Friday. It will count for a lot of my grade, right? So we have the pronoun it. Well, what is it referring to? By context, I know that it's going to be the quiz, right? Now, if I didn't have this first sentence and I just said it will count for a lot of my grade, you really don't have any idea of what I'm talking about or what I'm referring to. So we always have to state the noun or have the noun in a sentence before it can be used, be represented by a pronoun, okay? Now, pronouns in Latin, they still take the place of a noun, right? They still have that basic function. However, there are some additional requirements that pronouns must have to refer back to a noun. So in Latin, pronouns must always match the same gender as the noun that they're referring to and the same numbers. So if you're referring back to a plural noun, the pronoun has to be plural, right? Just like how we use they or y'all or we in sentences, same thing can happen in Latin, right? This means that every pronoun must have a form for each combination of gender, number, and case. Now, again, the pronoun doesn't have to be the same case as the noun it's referring to, because you can use that pronoun in any part of the sentence that it's in. So it's not restricted by the case of the previous noun. So this means that pronouns end up having a lot of different forms, but as we take a look at these, they will use very similar endings, okay? Now, the next part of this is just going to be a lot of different forms, so feel free to pause as necessary. Let's take a look. The first pronoun that we're going to talk about is qui, qui, quod, which means who or which, okay? So as you can see, here are the forms in the singular for qui, qui, quod, both for the masculine, the feminine, and the neuter. Here are the plural forms for qui, qui, quod. And again, as you look at these forms, try to pick out different patterns, right? Try to limit the amount of information you actually have to retain. So when I look at these, I always know that the dative and ablative are exactly the same. The genitive is very similar. It's very similar to what we've had in the past with other noun endings. And so this makes it a little bit easier to deal with. Our next pronoun is going to be hic, haec, hoc, which means this and these. So again, here are all the forms. And again, we want to try to minimize the actual information that we have to remember. So try to find as many patterns as you can while you look at these. Here are the plural forms. So this is all these things, right? So he, hi, hike, horum, haurum, horum, he's, he's, hos, has, hike, he's. Again, we're all about looking at patterns here. The last pronoun we're going to be viewing is ille, illa, illud, meaning that or those, okay? So again, here are the forms. They should look very similar to the ones we just talked about, both in the singular here and in the plural here, okay? So keep these in mind as you move forward. There is a Magistrula exercises to help you cover these pronouns, okay? Again, the idea of a pronoun, not that difficult. The biggest task for you will be committing these to memory. And the best way to do that is through constant practice. So again, you can review any Magistrula exercise that is posted in the guide. as well as reviewing your vocabulary. Those will be very grateful. I hope this series of modules has helped you. I hope you have a successful Latin 2 year. And as always, take care.